You ever have one of those mornings where the air feels heavier than usual, like even the sky forgot how to be blue? That's exactly where my story starts. Seattle, gray clouds, a gas station that's seen better days, and me, Henry Caldwell, stuck behind the wheel of a black Bentley that probably cost more than this whole neighborhood. If you'd see me, you'd say I had an all-sharp suit, Swiss watch, the whole 9 yards, but inside, I was empty, just going through the motions, watching the world blur by. So picture this. I'm just sitting there, lost in thought, and then I see her. A little girl, maybe 7 years old, barefoot and alone, carefully wiping down my car's hood with what looks like a torn-up t-shirt, like she's handling something precious. No adult in sight, no uniform, nothing to say she belongs. I'm seconds from rolling down my window and telling her, to scremuntal, I hear her singing. And not just any song, the same lullaby my daughter used to sing with her mother. The kind of tune that sneaks under your skin and drags old memories into the daylight. You know what I mean? My heart about stopped. My wife, Abigail, she used to sing that song every Sunday morning, Chloe joining in while I pretended to sleep just to listen. After the accident, after I lost them both at her, so I thought there was nothing left but the ache. That morning, hearing that song come out of a stranger's child, it was like a ghost had reached out and squeezed my chest. I got out of the car. The door snapped shut behind me, and the sound must have startled her, but she didn't run. She just stopped singing and looked up with these big, dark eyes that could swallow you whole. I asked her where she learned that song, and her answer, I swear, it's like the world stopped spinning. My mom used to sing it to me before she left. Her name? Abigail Moore. My wife's name. That's when the ground kind of shifted beneath me. I mean, what are the odds? The rest came tumbling out in a rush. She said her name was Lily Moore, 7 years old, living with a woman named Miriam after being dropped at a shelter in Tacoma. She didn't remember much about her mom, just her singing. And she had a keepsakea drawing, rough and childish, but in the corner, 3 stick figures under a crooked tree. Mommy, me, and Daddy. My hands were shaking when I held it. I wanted to believe, but it felt impossible. I'd buried an empty coffin. They told me my little girl, Chloe, had drowned. But here she was, right in front of me, singing a song only Abigail could have taught her. I should have left for my flight me assistant. Gerald was calling, jet ready, but I didn't go. Instead, I asked if she was hungry. We went to a diner, and as she ate like she hadn't had a real meal in days, I watched her count her fries before eating them. That little quirk? Chloe used to do the exact same thing. I kept asking questions, trying to trip up fate, but everything she remembered lined up the preschool called Greenmount Academy, the same one Chloe attended. Every word tore a little more at the wall I'd built around myself. But then things got weird. A black car rolled up outside, and 2 men started watching the diner. Call it instinct or paranoia, but I grabbed Lily's hand, paid for the meal, and got her back in the car, my mind spinning with all kinds of possibilities. I was starting to realize this wasn't just a miracle, it was a mess, and maybe someone didn't want her found. She remembered the way to Miriam's house near a church, bell ringing 3 times in the afternoon, so I drove us there, running on adrenaline and old wounds. Along the way, Gerald emailed me hospital documents. Abigail's autopsy didn't match the records. Signatures were forged. It wasn't just loss, it was a cover-up. Miriam answered the door, looking like she hadn't slept in years, clutching an envelope to her chest. Inside, the story spilled out. She'd worked in the ER the day Abigail was brought in. A man, fake documents, claimed to be family, took Chloe from the hospital. That man was James Whitaker, me old business partner, the same guy I'd had thrown out for embezzling millions. Revenge, pure and simple. Chloe had been used as a pawn in a game I didn't even know I was playing. But before I could get my head around it, a black SUV screeched up outside, and James himself came out with 2 goons. I shoved Lily out the back with Miriam and went out to face him. It got ugly, fists, threats, blood on the driveway. James taunted me, told me justice was just a fairy tale for people who could afford to believe in it. When I thought I was done for, I heard Lily scream, "Daddy," and I fought with everything I had left, crawling to protect her, taking blows meant to crush me. Just as James pulled a gun, police sirens cut through the night. Neighbors had called 911. James was arrested, but not before making it clear this wasn't over. Lily and I were separated standard procedure, they said, until they could prove I was her father. In the hospital, battered and bruised, I got the DNA test result. 99.999% probability. But it felt hollow because paperwork didn't get you a daughter back. The system was cold, slow, and Lily was just a case now. A few days later, they let her see meeting minutes supervised. She was quiet, holding a notebook full of drawings, but in her eyes was something fierce. She said she wanted to stay with me, even though the world said I wasn't her real dad. I promised her I'd try to learn to be the dad she deserved, even if I messed up. She handed me a drawing in a park, holding hands with a dog at our side, belonging scrawled across the page. The custody battle was brutal. In court, they brought up everything me grief, my failures, my past. They said Lily needed stability. My lawyer, a bulldog, fought back. A child psychologist testified that Lily had bonded with me, that separating us could ruin her for good. Miriam came forward, admitted her mistakes, and said the choice should be Lily. She saw in me what every child deserves, a home. But the real twist? James Whitaker, slippery as ever, got released on a technicality and showed up at my house in the dead of night. This time, he didn't want to fight, wanted out. Guilt, regret, maybe just fear of what he'd become. He handed me a USB drive, emails, recordings, the whole conspiracy, enough to blow the lid off the cover-up and free Lily forever. If you report me, I understand, he said, but do this for her, not for revenge. Then he vanished. The next day, the courtroom was packed, media, activists, everyone hungry for a show. The judge, newly assigned after the first, was accused of bias. Let me speak. I told him this wasn't about perfection or fixing the past, but about choosing to show up, to love, even when you're scared. The prosecutor, faced with overwhelming evidence, withdrew all objections. The judge ruled, Lily Moore, birth name Chloe Caldwell, was my daughter. Full custody. Case closed. She ran to me, arms around my neck, calling me daddy. And that's the thing, after all the pain, the loss, the violence, what mattered most was the moment we walked out of that courtroom together, free for the first time. Before we left town, Miriam gave Chloe a bracelet her mother had left for her, a piece of gold engraved with her name. Clino, Lily asked if she could still be both. I told her she could be anything she wanted. We moved into a new house, just the two of us, and a golden retriever puppy she'd already named Sully. I wrote a letter to Abigail and buried it beneath the young tree we planted out back, promising to protect Lily, to love her like she deserved. And, after everything, I still don't have all the answers about justice, forgiveness, or why some people do what they do. But I know this. Sometimes life hands you a second chance, and all you can do is take it and hold on tight. So, what would you have done in my place? Was justice really served, or did the system just get lucky this time? I want to hear what you think. Drop a comment below. Tell me what you'd call justice, and whether you believe in second chances. Because for us, this is just the beginning.